You know, when you see the live streaming, I think we might be on now.
It started when I came on. There was something that said this is being recorded.
Oh, no, it should say live on Facebook at the top there.
Oh. This meeting is being live streamed. Yes.
Okay, great. Then we are on. Welcome, everyone, to the May 7th, 2024 Springfield Community Preservation Committee. The time now is 6:04, and we're going to get started. We're waiting for a couple more members to join us. We will continue to meet remotely. And wait, am I sharing that? I am not sharing that, am I?
No.
Okay, so this is like a trial run, you guys. That's what it is. Okay, very good. Start that again. If you would like to contact us about any of the projects that you hear about tonight, please send us an email at cpc@springfieldcityhall.com, or you could send us a letter, by mail to 36 Court Street, Springfield, Mass. 01103. My name is Karen Lee. I'm the administrative consultant for the committee, and Bob McCarroll will introduce the rest of the committee. He is the chair. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, and thank you and welcome to our guests.
Well, thank you, Karen. Good to see everyone. Tonight we will be starting to vote on recommendations. Present so far, and we're expecting more, is Stephen Bosworth, who's a neighborhood representative, Yolanda Cancel, a neighborhood representative, Judith Kroll, the historical commission representative, Juanita Martinez, the Conservation Commission representative, Willie Thomas, the Housing Authority representative. I'm Bob McCarroll, and I am the Springfield Preservation Trust, Inc. representative, and we probably will have a few more members logging in. So the first order of business is approving of the minutes of April 16. Did folks have a chance to review it? And if so, I need a motion and a second before we have a vote.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Second. All right. Any corrections? So all set. And we'll do the vote. Steve?
Yes.
Juanita?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Yolanda?
Yes.
Willie?
Yes.
And Bob is a yes. So the next item is voting on the general conditions that we will be putting on all of this year's recommendations. They are basically the same as we have had over the past several years. Karen, would you share the list and go, read through it?
Okay. 1 second. Let me just pull it up here. Okay. Okay, it should be up in front of you right now.
Yep.
The highlighted areas are just a slightly change of sentencing, but these are the conditions that would be put into every contract that we fund. Recommendation, funding conditions. So you want me to read all these funding conditions?
You got it. Yep.
Okay. All right. Funding conditions. Number 1, studies or non-construction projects should carry a CPA acknowledgement on the cover page. The language should include X study received funding or in part from the people of Springfield through the Community Preservation Act. When possible, use the committee logo, but without the committee tag. Send a copy of the study and the executive summary to cpc@springfieldcityhall.com. Construction projects should display a temporary banner to be provided until the project is complete. A smaller permanent sign plaque is required upon completion to be designed in cooperation with the Springfield Community Preservation Committee with the following language. Project name, funding in part from the people of Springfield through the Community Preservation Act. The smaller plaque is the responsibility of the grantee. I think that's what I added into this paragraph. Number 3, once the project has commenced, please send a photo of the temporary banner placed at the project site to cpc@springfieldcityhall.com and a photo of the completed project. Not everybody does this. I try to get after them. But it's in there. So number 4, if the grantee plans a media event or dedication, the Springfield Community Preservation Committee shall be acknowledged and or invited. Number 5, a press release from your office or the Springfield Community Preservation Committee is expected. Quarterly reports are required on January 15th, April 15th, July 15th, and October 15th, starting 3 months after the contract is fully signed. 7, work to historic resources must meet the Secretary of the Interior standards and be reviewed by the SCPC preservation consultant prior to the contract being signed. Number 8, historic resources not already subject to the exterior controls of a local historic district must petition to become a local historic district. Number 9, Springfield Community Preservation Committee shall be notified if contingency funds are assessed. Number 10, work to be completed within 1 year of the expected contract unless otherwise noted. And let me finish first. And number 11, any funds not used should be returned to the Springfield Community Preservation Committee with a brief explanation and the amount. Send an email to cpc@springfieldcityhall.com. So I do want to go back to number 10. The contracts, as of last year, we weren't able to actually get them moving because of the holdup with our preservation consultant until like recently. So the year, I think we need more flexibility there. That when the contract is executed, instead we were using November 30th or a year from the date of whatever date it was. So I think we need to have a flexibility here that once the contract is ready to be signed, then the year kicks in. So it might be a little bit different for everyone, but I will try to like consolidate them so that they're all in the same month. And then we do have the contingency that Bob, that you all voted to allow Bob to extend a contract by 6 months without coming before the full committee. Anything over 6 months would have to come in front of the committee. So, so I guess that's factored in there too, so that we could extend the contract before it even gets signed. Instead of November 30th. Does that make sense? Or is it not clear what I'm asking for?
Well, I think that's fine, as long as you're going to be now making sure that you know what's 1 year from the executed contract and following that up, because now you're going to have, since before most things were due on November 30th or December 31st, now you're going to find some contracts, you know, a year from it is in March 30th and some are February 28th and January 14th. So as long as you're prepared to keep track of that, Karen, I think that's fine.
Okay, well, I will try to consolidate them all in getting them ready for the same month, but I keep a check on that anyway, the expiration date for all contracts. So it's not really a big deal, but it is more convenient to have one date, that's for sure. But it's caused some issues. So if everyone is okay with that, then that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think we may have to add some more language to number 8 regarding historic resources, because this wording only requires them to petition to become a local historic district. It does not address the situation if they don't become a historic district. I mean, the problem that we have right now is the Office of Planning and Economic Development has put a halt on the creation of new local historic districts. And therefore we could theoretically find that one of our awardees doesn't get to become one, never becomes one, yet we still want it protected. So I think we need to add a second sentence that says if the LHD is not created, the applicant, the contractee needs to provide a permanent, a perpetuity exterior preservation restriction instead. So first option is to become a local historic district if you're not already in one. And option 2 is provide a preservation restriction.
That's- Or,
Or provide a perpetuity exterior preservation restriction.
perpetuity, you want?
Yep. Exterior
Okay, that's
preservation.
Pituitary.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not the right one.
Now, what we want is to happen is our preference is the local historic district, right? That's
Correct.
the best result.
That's the easiest result.
Okay, so we should say that I'm sorry, that's the what?
That's the easier thing to do. It's
Okay.
easier for the petitioner. Creating a preservation restriction that meets the standard of Massachusetts Historical Commission is far more difficult than creating a local historic district.
So in order to sign the contract, all they need to do is provide the letter that they've actually applied to become an LHD. They don't actually have to have it in place in order to sign the contract.
No.
But by the time their project is done, they either have to have the LHD or begin the process of the preservation restriction.
I would just say that, or in the absence of achieving LHD, provide a perpetuity preservation restriction, because that since you want the LHD, it's best for everybody. The perpetuity restriction is a second choice at best, right?
Yeah. So I guess you'd put a period after LHD, and then Steve, if you would repeat what you said. If
in the event that an LHD is not available,
created, let's say created.
Is not created,
Mhm.
the grantee must provide yeah, that's good.
So we know that takes longer to achieve, right? So if they've gone through the process and they don't get the LHD, then they have to start this next process. Meanwhile, their project could already be over with. So do we just hold the funds for a year and a half until the preservation restriction is done? I mean,
No, I think that would be unfair to the applicant.
I
I
agree.
don't know what we do if people do not do what's honorably required by their contract.
So at that time, we would pay whatever that their invoices were, but then like do an amendment to extend it while they get the restriction in place or something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
They're agreeing that they will do it in exchange for this money.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's pretty clear.
Okay. Any questions regarding any of this from committee members?
Do we have any input from our historic representative on?
I don't have any at this time.
All right, so if there aren't any additional comments on these 11 general conditions, then we'll have a motion to accept them.
So moved.
In a second.
Second,
All right, any discussion regarding the conditions? So all in favor, Steve,
yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Juanita,
Yes.
Yolanda,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
and Clinton Harris, our Park Commission representative. You're muted, muted, Clinton.
Muted.
I'll abstain.
Okay, and Bob is yes. All right, so now we will start reviewing the recommendations for 2024. And, you know, the last time everyone came in with their top 8 projects, we put them on a spreadsheet, discussed all of the projects. You have an opportunity to change. We're now going to review the changes that for you that came in, so you can say them publicly. And for any committee members that didn't send them in advance, you get to decide tonight. So I guess I will start off. I decided that I would switch my support from the Indian Orchard Fire Station elevator to the Regreen Springfield Invasive Plant Program. Clinton, do you have any changes? Did you make any? Clinton, you're muted.
Yeah, I just wanted to make one change to the historic homes. I wanted to add that because we subtracted one on last meeting of mine.
Well, which one are you subtracting? We need to add.
I didn't. You made an announcement last meeting, Bob, about one of the projects that was discontinued.
Oh, no, I never said it was discontinued. I simply said they sold it. So if you're changing your support, you need to say that you're no longer supporting, and that was the St. James Avenue project. And you're changing it now to whatever you're changing it to.
Right. I'm not going to support it. Yep. There's no longer, the ownership has changed. And so I'll support the historic homes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Gloria may be joining us later.
Oh, I'm here now.
Oh, great. All right. Welcome, Gloria. Hope the train ride went smoothly. This is Gloria DiFilippo, our planning board representative. Gloria, do you have any changes that you're making?
No, I don't.
Okay. Juanita?
Yeah, I sent them in this morning, but I just realized when I'm looking at this, I made a mistake. So I'm not to take away the softball and add the 60 Byers Street. I had that on my first one because I realized the only one I really changed was one. I thought I changed more, but then I see a mistake I made. Yeah.
That's it?
You didn't take the softball, the Van Sickle one out.
I thought I
Oh.
did.
Now you did. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, it's still on. Am I looking at mine? Yeah.
Yeah, it's still showing there as a red X.
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3,
So
4.
now I
Yeah.
have 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait a minute.
and scroll down, keep scrolling, because the whole list isn't up there.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
We
because
got
then
1,
you want
2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8.
Yep.
Okay, and the other change that you must have made, Juanita, is I thought last time you had something down for Ford Brook.
That was the mistake. I
Okay.
didn't mean to put that one down.
But you did. So, and you took that out and put
Yeah.
it towards pre-op. Okay.
Right.
All right, Judith?
Just so you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
the red X's are what the committee members changed to. So
Mhm.
I only put the except for Willie, I put all of them because he sent a whole different batch. But anyway, I'm sorry, Judy, go ahead.
I changed 174 to 176 Maple to Clarendon Fountain Triangle.
Okay,
That was my only change.
yeah. Rhonda Sherrill, our other community member, is not here, is she? Rhonda, you there? Not seeing you. Stephen?
I dropped the Marshall Roy Park and I added the 174, 176 Maple Street City redevelopment.
Okay. Willie?
Yes, you're right. I'm all red here.
Yeah.
Um, and as I look at it, what you see is what I agreed upon, without me saying whether it's changed or not, because I can't make heads or tails what I'm looking at here. But what you see is what I am proposing at this current time. Now, you're asking me, was there any changes made
Yeah.
to it?
Well, but
And
Karen, I guess Karen has made those changes. So if you could just read out so it's recorded verbally what you've chosen now.
I chose the hold on, you're not hearing me, huh?
No,
Bob, do you want me to read it out for Willie?
Yeah,
Sure.
would you do it,
Yeah.
please?
Okay. Willie, you've had the elevator Indian Orchard Fire Station, Historic Homes Restoration Program, exterior restoration for St. John's Congregational Church, Colony Hills lamppost. Wait a minute. Okay. Colony Hills lamppost, East Springfield Marshall Roy Park, Buckingham Fountain and Triangle Park, and Immaculate Conception Restoration, and Forest Park Clay Tennis Courts.
That sounds familiar. Thank you.
You're welcome.
okay. And Yolanda?
Okay, I had to make changes, because I wasn't able to vote on the St. John's due to being a member. I made that change to go into the elevator Indian Orchard Fire Station. Since the historic home went for a reseller, I decided to change that over to the Clarendon Fountain Triangle. And
Like
so
you
I
have the-
stayed with,
It looks like you have the drama studio too, no?
yeah, but I
no.
was saying which ones I was
Oh.
switching to and
Oh.
from. So far I have the elevator, the treetop park, the Van Sickle, Clarendon, what is that? The drama elevator, the Clarendon Fountain, the Buckingham Fountain, and I think my last, oh yeah, is that my last?
Yeah,
I can't see
Marshall
anything
Roy.
else.
Yeah, it's
Marshall Roy, yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. You do have one more.
And yeah, and that was the Forest Park fitness course. So yeah, those are my choices.
This one.
Okay. All right. Very good. So as we start going through the process, I asked the comptroller how much money we have available to recommend. And he came back and said we have $3,038,000 to recommend. Now, keeping in mind that we need to save 10% of our budget for each one of the categories, since we have no housing project, we need to retain 10% of what we took in fiscal 24 for housing. When we made our budget, we thought we were taking in $2,440,000. So each one of the categories has 244,000. We need to reserve extra money now for housing because we're going to be taking in more than what we expected. And I'm not sure, Karen, what's the best way to do that, but by my calculation, we should be setting aside, besides the 244, we need to also set aside 54,000.
Oh, God.
So you want me to subtract, what was it, what did you say, 52?
Well,
54.
I think if you're taking things out of the total reserve, take out $298,000. That's what we're going to be reserving for housing.
Hold on, I'm doing this on my calculator. All right, so from the 3 million, subtract, what did you say,
294,000.
even?
Well, yes, close enough.
So,
And just Karen's doing that, let me just remind the committee, when we make a budget, we're required to set aside 10% of our expected revenue. That's the tax levy, the state distribution, and interest on our money. That's the total revenue. We're expected to set aside 10% as we form the budget for the coming year. At the end of the year, we need to adjust the reserves if we've taken in much more money than we expected. And clearly, we've taken in about $500,000 more than we thought we would get. Now, that's a good thing, but it means we have to increase the housing reserve. We don't necessarily have to increase the open space and historic reserve, given that the projects that we're going to be funding are all either historic or open space. But
And Bob, don't we have to reserve 500,000 for the purchase of
No.
Abby?
So I specifically, when I asked the comptroller how much we had that we could recommend, I specifically said, make sure that Abbey Brook isn't counted in this. So
Okay.
this $3,038,000, Abbey Brook has already been taken out of that.
Okay,
and you're subtracting 290,000 or
98,000.
298,000.
So that should get you to 2,730,000.
No.
Nope. Okay.
2,740,598. Is that what everyone got here?
No. Oh, yeah. I guess I had subtracted it from the total reserves. Okay, so I'm sorry that this is confusing. From the
Yeah, I kind of am confused.
from the undesignated reserve, we needed to take that 54,000 would come out of the undesignated reserve.
All right, so 54 even, right?
Yeah,
Just 54,000.
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So then we have to add 52,000
don't,
over housing?
well, yeah, we have to add 54,000 somewhere. So I guess I would approach it this way, Karen, is we need put back what the undesignated reserve was originally. You have that figure?
Yep.
That's it. Put back what you had as the total reserve.
I did not write this stuff down. Oh, 3, 8,
Well,
5, 9, 8. I think that's it.
Karen, you could use the circle, not the arrow.
Well, yeah, but then it'll change the undesignated as well,
all right.
because
Yeah.
they made changes to that
All right.
afterwards.
So here's my suggestion is let's create right at the top, let's call it just the housing project. And then you will take out of it 244 from the housing and 54,000 from the undesignated reserve.
I'm confused now.
All right, so
Well, what we have to do, Gloria, is to make sure that we're not spending the money that we need to be saving for housing, since we have no housing project.
Okay, but I I thought we took the 54,000 out of undesignated reserve.
Well, I suggested that rather than play with that top line, I've suggested we create a, let's call it a no housing project reserve
Okay.
that we're saving the money for.
Now I got it.
So
Sorry.
that comes out right off of the top. Because what we don't want to do is what we did a couple of years ago, which is we overspent. Now, let me tell you, my intent is we are going to go down through, starting from the top, through the categories that got 4 votes. I believe there is enough money to do all of those projects, should we choose to recommend them, but not necessarily at the asked for amount. Then we will come back at our next meeting if there's other money to give out to recommend. All right. So now we're good to go.
Yep.
All right. So we'll start with the project that received the most number of votes, which is the Indian Orchard Fire Station elevator. Someone wants to make a motion, second it, and then we'll have a discussion and then a vote.
I'll make a motion
Okay.
that we fund the elevator for the Indian Orchard Fire Station at $300,000.
I'll
I'll
second that.
second that.
All right. Any further discussion? So, I mean, we did a lot of the discussing at the last meeting. So if anyone doesn't have a comment, then we will actually have a vote on recommending it. In this case, we will be taking 244,000 out of the historic reserve. We always empty the reserves first, and then we'll take the remaining, is that 56,000? Will come out of the undesignated reserve.
I make a motion that we,
No, you've already
no,
made.
I already
the-
made it.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I don't think we have to vote on the reserves. We'll include that in your previous motion, if that's all right.
Okay.
for you.
That's fine.
244 from the historic reserve and 56,000 from the undesignated reserve, totaling 300. So we will now do a vote. So we'll start with Juanita,
Yes,
Gloria,
Yes,
Willie,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes,
Clinton,
Yes.
Clinton, see, I can't see everyone. Who am I missing? Yolanda, are you abstaining from this?
No, I could vote on it. Yes.
Okay. Clinton,
I think you called
I
her on it.
voted yes. I voted yes,
Oh.
Bob.
I already, okay. Well, and Bob is yes. Who did Bob miss? Because I can't see people.
All
Yeah,
right,
Steve,
stop
vote?
sharing while we do
Oh,
this.
Steve, yeah, okay.
yes,
Steve.
yes for Steve.
All right. Very good. So that motion passes. All right, back to the next one.
I have a question. I'm a little confused, the 54 and the 56. We're removing the 56 from the 200,000, from
No.
the from the 2,300,000, right?
Correct.
So why, I don't understand the 54 on the top and the 56 on the bottom.
The 54 is part of what we're taking out of the undesignated reserve to increase housing from 244, which is what it was budgeted at, to something that reflects 10% of what we will have when the year closes.
Oh, okay, I get you. Thank you.
All right. So the next one is the Historic Homes Program. Someone
I'll
wanna
make that motion.
Okay. So the
I'll second that.
motion is to recommend funding at 300,000, and it will come all out of the undesignated reserve.
Perfect.
Any comments? All right, then we'll do the vote. Juanita,
Yes,
Gloria,
no,
Yolanda,
No.
Judy,
Yes,
Steve,
Yes,
Clinton,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Bob. It's yes. It's me. All right. Who did I miss? Did I miss anyone this time? No. Okay. All right. So the next one is exterior for St. John's Congregational Church at $299,999.
I make a motion that we recommend approval for exterior restoration for St. John's Congregational Church in the amount of $299,999 from undesignated reserve.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Right, so we'll take the vote. Juanita,
No,
Gloria,
Yes.
Yolanda,
Abstain?
okay, Judy,
No.
Steve,
Yes.
Clinton,
I'll abstain.
okay, Willie,
Yes,
and Bob is a no. But
Does it pass?
well, who's keeping?
I did not write these down.
It was 3 apiece and 2 abstains.
Uh,
So it
No.
didn't.
no, I'm sorry. We're gonna have to do this again. Can we do this again? I'll write it down.
Okay, Juanita,
no,
Gloria,
Yes.
Yolanda,
Abstain?
Judy,
No.
Steve,
Yes.
Clinton,
Abstain.
Willie,
yes,
and Bob is no. So it's a
3
three.
apiece, 3 apiece.
Yeah, so the motion fails. All right. Moving on. Treetop Park improvements, 250,000 that will come out of the undesignated reserve.
I thought that would come out of open space. No.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Thank you, Steve. So we'll take 244,000 out of open space, emptying that, and then 6,000 out of undesignated reserve.
I'll make a motion that we approve Treetop Park improvements for $250,000 from 244,000 from open space and 6,000 from undesignated reserve.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, Juanita,
yes,
Gloria,
Yes.
Yolanda,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Clinton,
No.
Willie,
no,
Bob is yes. So that passes. Okay. Van Sickle softball diamond, 300,000, which would come out of the undesignated reserve.
I'll recommend Van Sickle softball diamond for $300,000 from the undesignated reserve.
And I'll
Second.
second that.
Okay, any discussion? All right, hearing none, then we'll do the vote. Juanita,
no,
Gloria,
Yes.
Yolanda,
Yes.
Judy,
No.
Steve,
Yes.
Clinton,
No.
Willie,
yes,
and Bob is a yes. Karen, were you keeping track of that?
I was, it passed, yeah.
Okay. Okay, the next one is 174, 176 Maple Street. For, we need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept 174, 176 Maple redevelopment in the city of Springfield coming out of the undesignated reserve.
Okay, second,
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, never mind. Sorry.
I'll second.
okay, any discussion?
Now, this, I believe there were two requests, one for each house, townhouse. Is that true?
Yes.
So they were actually asking for two $300,000 grants. So just everybody be aware of that when, as you vote on this.
Well, the
Well-
motion was for 300, so, but you're right, Steve. So we need to figure out how to come to a decision as to whether people want to do 600, 300, or nothing, or something in between.
Does it matter if one is private and one is city owned?
Well, two of them are city-owned. Further
Right.
down the list, there are four of them that are private. So the question comes as, if we choose to, and we have the option of just saying, hey, it's a project. We're only giving you 300,000. Or we can say, well, it's two legal properties. So I guess we have the flexibility of going either way.
Right. I think that's true. And I think it makes sense to consider what Springfield's asking for. This is grant money, right? Essentially that they're looking for, or incentive grants for these two, right?
This would be grant money that they attach to the property, which they would hope would entice a developer to fix these deteriorated
Right.
two
Well,
row houses.
Considering the extent of our resources and the fact that there's multiple townhouses, I would think that if the city got 150,000 per unit, that would probably be a nice thing. So the
Yeah, I think
300 would accomplish that, right?
The 300, yeah, if it goes to both of them, then they could attach 150,000 to either one, or if they put them out as a package, it's part of the package.
Right.
well, the other one is more than two. The other one is
Yes.
what, 4?
Or I think,
Correct.
Right. But I thought we discussed this last time that we would give them 300,000 each of them, not each house, but for the city and for the private ones.
Yeah, that's right.
so the construction requirements, the four that are being actually redeveloped, that would work out to what, 300 divided by 4, what is, 75 or something close to that. So keep this in mind in terms of that. Whether that's, I mean, obviously any amount is good
Correct.
for this development.
But we're not.
I think
Let
the
me
developer,
wait. So let me weigh in here. We're not yet talking about 178 through 184 Maple Street. We're
That's fair.
talking about the two city-owned properties.
That's why I'm thinking maybe I want to do less. I mean, I might want to vote to amend this to 100,000 each, or $200,000. I haven't made that motion yet, but I'm thinking about that.
I guess my feeling, Steve, is probably the two city-owned properties are in the worst condition of all 6 of them.
Those caught on fire.
and I recall the developer saying that they were getting other monies too.
Yes.
I mean, I know the city is as well, but he did say that, and this was just part of.
So I guess right now, the motion is 174, 176 Maple Street, 300,000. That's what was the motion and seconded. If someone wants to amend it, make a formal amendment, we will then have a vote on that amendment. And depending on the result of that vote, we then will move forward with the vote on the amended or not amended motion.
No, I will not offer an amendment at this point.
All right. Hey, Rhonda Sherrill, our neighborhood representative, is just logged in. All right. So unless someone wants to make an amendment of the amount. The motion is 300,000 for 174 and 176 total. Okay,
Not 600,000, but
correct.
300,000.
300,000. So we will start the vote then. Juanita,
Yes,
Gloria,
No.
Yolanda,
No.
Judy,
Yes.
Steve,
No.
Clinton,
No.
Willie,
Yes,
Rhonda,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear which one you were voting on.
174, 176 Maple Street, the row houses on Maple Street.
And it's for $300,000
Correct.
each time?
No, for they're in a sense a package. So 300,000 for the two of them.
Okay, yes.
And Bob is a yes.
Okay, that's a 5-4, so that passes.
Okay. The one extra restriction that I would like to add to this is just to make sure when we asked the city what they would be selling this for, they said it would be for $1,000, and I want to make that a condition. I don't want the city to get a higher price for these because our money has been attached to it. So if someone would make the vote that the condition is the city will offer these for no more than $1,000.
so moved.
To sell,
Oh.
you mean, the purchase price.
Yeah.
Correct, correct. So there
So
was,
moved.
okay, a second.
Second.
Any more discussion? Does everyone understand the point? Is when the city
Yes.
puts this out for request for proposal,
Right.
what we're saying is they will say they will only sell, they will not be selling it for more than that. Someone
Right.
will not be bidding up the price they're willing to pay because our 300,000 is attached.
Got it.
And so what's the rationale, Bob?
The rationale is I would not want, let's say, the city coffers to get $15,000 because our 300 is attached. They said they would be selling it for $1,000, and I want that as a condition to hold them to it.
Bob's everyone's friend.
Well,
No, but that gives actually them more money to put into the housing rather than buying it.
No.
I mean, more money in restoring it than to actually buy it.
Can I ask something quick?
sure.
So Bob, you're saying they want to sell the apartment for $1,000?
So these are two very deteriorated row houses, and they want to see if they can find someone who will rehabilitate them. Our money will be attached to help rehabilitate them as an incentive.
Got you.
The city will be saying, give us proposals. And we want the proposals judged on the quality of the proposal rather than who's offering the highest price. And
Got you.
we had the interview with Tina Qualiato Sullivan. I asked her, what are you going to be selling them for? She said $1,000. So I
Okay.
just make sure that that's one of our conditions, that they do, the city sells them for the price that they said they would. Not
So you
higher.
want to lock them into that price?
You got it.
Okay, I agree with that. I don't know how anyone else feels.
Yeah.
How does anybody else feel?
Well, we'll find, we'll take a vote. Unless someone has something else to add to the discussion, we'll take the vote. So, Steve,
Yes.
Clinton,
But
No.
Willie,
yes,
Rhonda,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Yolanda,
No.
Gloria,
Yes.
Juanita,
Yes.
Bob is yes. Okay. Moving on to the next recommendation. All right, so the next one is the Demure Museum of Fine Arts exterior restoration for $300,000. Somebody
I'll
want
make
to? Yep.
I'll make a motion to accept the Demure Museum for the restoration project, continuation restoration project.
Second.
Yeah, and I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, not hearing anyone adding anything over what we discussed last time. We'll start the vote. So, Steve,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Judy,
No.
Yolanda,
No.
Gloria,
No.
Juanita,
Yes.
Bob is no.
So that was 4 no's.
Well, then there were 5 yeses, and if that's the case.
Yeah. I thought this was gonna fly through, so I didn't record it until I heard the no's. So,
Do we need to redo it?
yes, let's do that, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
Steve,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Judy,
No.
Yolanda,
No.
Gloria,
No.
Juanita,
Yes.
Bob is no. I count 5 yeses and 4 no's, so it passes.
Right.
Okay. So the next one is the 4 row houses privately owned at 174 through 184 Maple Street. Now, this is another case where they submitted, since these are 4 legally separate parcels, they submitted 4 applications. But we have the option of deciding that we're giving them less than that. So we need a motion for discussion.
I'll move that we allocate $300,000 from the undesignated reserve for the 178, 184 Maple Street private row house renovation.
Okay, second?
I'll
Second.
second.
All right. Any discussion?
Steve, I changed my vote on the first one, on the top 8 and my top 8, because I went over there and I looked at that whole block, and it's really an important key cornerstone to that whole corner in that neighborhood. So I'm very much in favor of this. I think they're not going to get a lot. If we do 300 at 75,000 per unit, but I mean they could certainly, that would be helpful. And I think that somebody, Juanita mentioned, I think that they have other funding that they've also engaged in. So I think this would be a good thing. So I'm very much in favor of it.
And anyone else?
Me too. I'm in favor of it.
Yeah, and I think when we had Wayfinders come in several years ago on Byers Street for 3 separate projects, 3 separate legal properties, but part of one project, we considered it one project and gave them the maximum that we gave them and said, if you need more, come back next year. So I think this is sort of consistent by what we've done in the past, that if they need more, they need to come back and see us again. So unless someone else has something to add, we will start the votings. Steve,
Yes.
Clinton,
No.
Willie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Yolanda,
No.
Gloria,
Yes.
Juanita,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes. So that passes. All right. The next one is the drama studio elevator project for 60,000. Someone want to make a motion so we can discuss?
I'll make a motion that we accept the drama studio elevator project for $60,000 from undesignated reserve.
Second?
Second.
All right. So any discussion on this? So hearing none, we will start the voting then. Judy,
Yes.
Yolanda,
Yes.
Gloria,
Yes.
Juanita,
No.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes. Okay. And then the last one that we're going to be voting on tonight is the Clarendon Fountain and Triangle. 150,000 that would come out of the undesignated reserve.
I make a motion to approve.
Yeah, all right, a second.
I'll second.
All right. Any comments? All right, so we'll take a vote then. Juanita,
No.
Gloria,
Yes.
Yolanda,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes. All right. So Karen, how much have we allocated so far, including the reserve for the housing reserve?
$1,826,000.
And then we have already allocated the open space in the historic reserve. So total them up and then total all three of them. It sounds like we're at about 2,000,004.
Mhm.
All right, this will just, it would probably be easier if I did the, oh, what's happening? Isn't that working? Y'all probably can do this in your head, but I want to get the columns set up right. right. Okay, so we've gone through 2,558,000.
Okay. So what we will do is we will continue voting at our next meeting, but what you will do is come in, Karen, can you scroll so we can see the threes?
Yep.
We will have to prioritize the order in which we will do the threes. We don't want to simply be voting on applicants in that category based on how they're on our spreadsheet. So you will be needing to get, let's say, Karen, your top 2 projects or 3 projects. I haven't decided yet. And then we will, within the 3 category, we will reorder how we handle the voting. Everyone get that?
Mhm.
Yes.
Right.
Would we get a copy of this in our email?
I think it's
So-
on the Google Drive, she sent out.
Regarding this particular one that we're on, this is a copy of the one that you have in the Google Drive. And the reason why you don't have this one is because it contained the your second round that you sent to me, so I couldn't put it in the drive because that would be a violation. So it's not now because we've already had the meeting. So I will put this into the drive for you and you'll have it.
Okay, thank you.
That makes sense? Do you understand all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Very
So
good.
we're only going to do the 3s then. We're not going to do the 2s because there's less than 500,000 left.
Correct. We're only gonna, I think we're only going to do if we have to do the 2s, we will do them live because there are only 2 of them.
Okay.
But yeah, so the issue will be to prioritize 3s.
Okay. And can I just say that if anyone has the idea that they wanted to fund the smaller projects, that you should make those your choices because there is only 480,000 left.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think the way we handled it in the past is everyone rated that one category from their top project, which was number 1, down through their non-top project, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, be 5. Karen would then tally it up, and those projects that had the smallest total number is what we would start discussing first. So let's just say theoretically, everyone thought the Colony Hills lamppost project was their top project. Everyone voted on it. When it came in, it would have a vote of 9. If another project was everyone's by chance bottom project, it would come in and it would have a number of 45. 9 members times the 5th place, and we would start with the lowest ones. So I think that's what we'll do again. Your task is to decide among those 3s, what's your first, second, third, fourth, and 5th.
1 being your top.
1 being your top. All right.
You know what?
So-
I have a question. So out of the ones we voted on tonight,
Yep.
there was only one that was rejected, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Could we take that one rejected one and add it to the 4s? Because it did get a lot of votes.
Well, what we could do is there can be at the next meeting a motion for reconsideration, which has to be made by someone who was on the prevailing side. So one of the people who voted no would have to say, I want to reconsider this.
But it can't be done today, so that we could add it to the others.
Oh,
No,
Well,
I mean, the only reason I say that, because it was on the upper ones. What was it? What
It's number
number did it?
6. I mean, it
It
had
got
6 votes. I
6
mean,
votes,
5 votes, I'm sorry.
5 votes. So because I'm just saying, because it got
Right.
something that got 5 votes, could we add that on with the 3s?
why?
I mean,
Right, I understand.
I'm just throwing that out.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
No.
I was a no vote, but I'm just saying that it just seems like a fair thing to do because it was a 5. It didn't get voted, but throw it into the 3s.
No, it's a fair thing to vote on it, and it didn't make it. And
Okay,
that's the reality. Let's go on to the 3s.
I agree.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and I think, I mean, we should be telling them to come back next year, you know? So,
okay.
all right, so that ends our discussion on recommendations. So the next thing is we have Laura Walsh from the Parks, Buildings and Recreational Management to talk to us about 2 of their projects for extension. So, hey, Laura.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Laura.
For your patience, Laura.
Oh no, that was fascinating to be kind of on the inner circle here and see how it's all done. I'm very impressed with your ability to manipulate that Google sheet in real time, Karen. That was very impressive. And thank you all for your hard work on these projects. It's not an easy decision. So
This year especially, we had
What's that?
lots of good projects.
yeah, they're all very interesting and they're all worthy. So I don't envy your position there to make these tough choices. So
We just need more money and then everybody could be happy.
that would be great. I think we just need more money everywhere. There's
Everywhere.
that would be
So,
wonderful.
Laura, I just want to compliment you back on that amazing amount of work that you just did for all those project updates that I hope everyone has an opportunity to, because they were just sent. So they're in the Google folder now, all the updates that Laura sent, and that's a tremendous amount of work. So don't make it be for naught. Please
Oh,
at
no.
least look at
No
it.
problem. It's a team effort, Chris and I together. So thank you for that. There, we like giving you guys updates because these projects are moving and are fun. In the project update request, there's a few projects that for on different reasons may need an extension. And I know that this project has been on your books for a while, and I don't want you to feel like we're forgetting about it. But the trolley barn, the Forest Park Trolley Barn, which was a 2019 project. We had anticipated doing some work on the roofing this spring, as well as continuing the work with Putnam. Unfortunately, Putnam was not able to come out this spring due to a scheduling issue. They ended up working on a Habitat for Humanity house, and they were not able to come to the park. We are set, if we are granted the extension, to work with them again in the fall to finish the shingling and the things that they can do. And then we are still trying to work out the best way to hire a roofing specialist who also meets the historic preservation requirements, and that's within budget to do the renovations of the roof. That would be the next portion. We had originally been talking to the carpentry supervisor at Putnam to see if that roofing work was something that they wanted the students to learn. And we had been trying to go down that route as a cost savings measure, but unfortunately that's not something that they want to do at this time. So in order to fix the roof, we will have to put it out to bid. So that is the reason why we are requesting another extension. In the report, I've requested an extension through June of next year of 2024. 2025, just to avoid having to do another extension in a few months from now if we need that. We are trying our best to move that project forward to completion as soon as possible. And hopefully an extension would be granted. If not, what we could do is stop the project where we are and then reapply in a new funding year, returning the funds that are available now. So that's also an option, and I leave that to your committee to decide what to do. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions from committee members?
Laura,
Yeah, Laura,
could
I have
go ahead,
one,
Yolanda.
I have one question. If you had to return the money,
Mhm.
how would that hinder if you had to wait till the next funding?
It would just, the timeline would move forward. We would, the roof is, it's functional now, and what we want to do is make the any structural repairs that are needed and repair the shingles. I believe they're cedar shingles, so we would want to replace that in a similar style. So the pricing of things could go up in the future, and just the timeline to completion would get extended further if we had to wait until January's round of CPA applications to apply again. So.
And Laura, I know you were saying you were trying to find a roofer. Could the Putnam students could not do that?
They were not, we were trying to work that out with the teacher, and it's not something that he feels comfortable
Okay.
doing at the time.
Okay.
Yep. That was part of the reason for the delay and why it hasn't been bid
Yeah.
yet, because we were in those conversations.
Yeah, I like the use of the Putnam students. I mean,
No, I do too.
remember the carriage house. They did they're good. They're really good. But I
Yeah,
could understand maybe the roof.
Yeah, they've done a wonderful job. The Charlie Barn Pavilion, the flooring, and they've done the exterior shingles. There are a few shingles on the bottom. When you drive by, you'll see them from Sumner Ave that do need to get either replaced or cleaned, and we're working on that as well with them. But like I said, we had anticipated them coming back this spring, and then unbeknownst to us, they went to another project. So we're
How
trying to
about
make
the
it work.
sheriff?
They've done wonderful work, and you'll see in the report. I think we've spent about $52,000 on supplies for the renovations that have been done to date, because all of the labor through Putnam was free. So it's been a wonderful program and a hands-on learning experience for them, and a benefit to us in our budget. So hopefully it can continue, and you grant us another extension.
What about the sheriff's department?
Yep, the sheriff's department can help with some of like the painting. If we needed to paint the interior roof, like the ceiling work and things like that. That is something I can investigate again as an option for the roofing. But I think due to like the technical nature of the roof and then the historic property, we may want to try and find someone that has familiarity with historic properties.
Yeah, makes sense.
For
Thank
that
you.
portion. But I can bring that question back to the group though.
Bob, did you want to mention the banners?
Oh, yes, we do need a new banner. Karen, I don't know if you saw my email, but we do need, if possible, if we could get a new banner for the Charlie Barn project. I'm not exactly sure what happened to the other one.
So I can send you the PDF, and you know where we get the banners from.
Okay,
But I think you guys have to pay for this.
sure, that's fine. We can do that.
You can swing that?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, is that
but-
contingent on the extension? No, we'd be happy to put one up. Again, as you know, that's pretty close to Sumner Ave. So I'm not surprised.
Right, we're losing visibility there.
That it
Right
walked,
now.
I'm not surprised that it
Good
walked away, but
visibility.
we'll try and find a better way to secure it.
Okay, did it just blow away, or is it in
Um,
your building somewhere?
No, I think a member of the public decided they wanted that banner for their room and probably took it with them. Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
we
right.
had it up for.
We're popular. We're popular. Everybody wants our banners.
Yeah, it's a little easier
So
to remove a
before
banner than a
Bob
street sign.
goes traveling around the city checking on banners, just a reminder that while construction is going on all the projects, that the banner needs to be up. So
Yes, and they should be up at the projects that are ongoing. The few that are yet to start on-site construction, they're not up yet, but those will be happening this spring and moving forward.
So I didn't get an opportunity to look through all of the updates, but do you have a picture of the banner up at the project site in those updates?
It may not be in this exact update if the project is ongoing, because these are updating you on previous reports that have been submitted, but it should have been submitted in previous reports. But if that's something that you need, we will happily take pictures of them and send them over.
Okay. That's like the first thing in the beginning of the project, if you
Yeah.
can remember to send us.
It's usually in the first like construction
first
progress
update,
report.
yeah.
Yep. But most of these updates are for projects that have been ongoing. And the new ones to start would be the 2023 projects, which will probably start construction in the fall. And then some of the 2022 projects that are moving into construction now.
But
Perfect, thank you.
the Florentine Gardens banner will be up for illumination night groundbreaking, correct?
Yes, it will. Yep. Because then construction will be starting very shortly after that.
All right, so back to the trolley pavilion. So unless there are other questions, we need a motion to extend it to June of 2025. And then a second.
moved.
Second,
Second.
all right. So any discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. So Gloria,
Yes.
Juanita,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Yolanda,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes. Okay, so you had
Thank
one
you.
other thing to talk to us about?
Yes, thank you so much. The next one is an update on the Hubbard Park tennis renovation. And I'm happy to say that we went out to bid and we were successful in that bid, and we're bringing on a contractor, Maziano Brothers. We're just waiting for the contract to be issued, and then we will start construction on site, which we're very excited about. The city was able to find some additional funding through some municipal accounts and CDGB to match your funding of the initial 164, so that we can move this into construction. So we're very excited, and it's a bit timely because the department has been receiving multiple requests for pickleball courts throughout the city. And what we've been doing up until now is we've been adding pickleball lines to existing tennis courts and hoping that that was a way for people to play both sports. But the feedback that we're getting from the pickleball community is that's not ideal for pickleball, and it's harder to play on that within those lines within an existing court. So we've been getting requests from citizens all around the city for pickleball specific courts. And within the footprint of one tennis court, you can add 2 pickleball courts. So each side of the tennis court would have 1 pickleball court. So what we'd like to do as we're just starting renovation of the Hubbard courts is to amend our project scope so that we would be able to offer 2 tennis courts and then 2 pickleball courts at Hubbard during this renovation. The original application was for tennis only, but as you know, Hubbard has been a project that believe it was a 2021 project, so it's a couple years past that now because we were waiting on additional funding. So we have spoken with the Indian Orchard Citizens Council, and they've provided a letter of support, which is in your packet as well, for the addition of pickleball courts there. It would not affect the construction timeline. There wouldn't be too many adjustments to the budget because it's the similar paving of the courts is all the same. It's just there would be a slight upcharge for the adding pickleball specific paint for that portion of the court, but the fencing and everything remains the same. So it would just be a minor upcharge now than trying to add it in later.
Any questions from committee members? I have to say, I'm surprised that it's taken us this long before we have some pickleball CPA paid for court. So I'm happy to hear that. Anyone else have any questions or comments?
My
Uh,
comment, I'm ready for a handball court.
Oh, you're getting two. There's two going in the north end. Calhoun and Kennefax are both handball courts are getting renovated. So we're trying to disperse all the different types of recreation all over. So I like when we have new stuff. Each park should offer something a little different.
Okay, so we have something to discuss, a motion to amend the scope to have for 2 tennis courts and 2 pickleball courts.
So moved.
Second,
Second,
any discussion?
I think
No?
we discussed it.
Yeah, okay. Gloria,
Yes.
Juanita,
Yes,
Yolanda?
Wait, I'm kind of confused. If I vote yes on this, does it take off from my tops from the other?
No.
Oh, okay, go. All right, yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes. Okay, so
Great. Thank you very much.
we'll amend that contract. Thank you. All right, so the next is the administrator updates, and Karen, you have Chris here from Parks, Buildings and Recreational Management to
Yes,
talk
for-
about Venture
I'm
Pond.
sorry. Yes, the Venture Pond update, there's been some changes in that. And so Chris is here to kind of bring us up to speed that there were some community members that were in opposition to what's being done now. So Chris, it's all yours.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. And it's a tough project to talk about because I think that the neighborhood is undergoing some climate changes. So when we first heard about, as you know, just to pick everybody up to speed, Venture Pond Phase 1 was a wood chip path around Venture Pond at 16 acres. That project was well received. We've gotten many people just talking about how they're excited about taking their dogs around for walks, and that fishing and walking are more accessible. And so phase 2 of this project was to include a boat launch. And the boat launch has been a part of the project ever since I can remember. Mike Tully was involved. And Colleen Moynihan was also involved in that part of the project as well. So I would say, about 3 weeks ago to almost a month ago, we received a call from a woman who complained that her basement was flooding, that she was receiving like large amounts of water in her basement. She said it must have been because of the work that was done at Venture Pond. So we essentially gathered the troops. We met pretty much everyone together, Laura, Pete Krupsek, Tom Ash, and also Pat Sullivan. Met with about, I think, 5 or 6 at the time, community members, and who were all having flooding. They also abut the pond as well on the east side. No, sorry, the west side, right on Collingwood, and I forget what the actual the other street abuts, but it's an elbow. And so they were having significant amounts of flooding daily in their basement, and that also led us to a point where they started to talk about Venture Pond and how it was responsible. We were able to have GZ environmentalist Anya Duffy there. She talked about how it wasn't anything that we had done, but that this is a result of climate change in itself. We've had a tremendous amount of rainwater that really hasn't frozen over the winter, and so that had put basically all the groundwater, floating pretty much all along their grass and everything. And so nothing really melted, and it started to seep into their basements as well. So, as well as the water table being extremely high in the pond, sort of leveling out around their basement level. So at about that time, we got complaints that they weren't involved in phase 2 of the project, that Colleen Moynihan, again, allegedly had sort of pushed their votes to the side to not really have the project done, and that East Campus Neighbors was just moving along, trying to get this project done so that, you know, it could just happen. And so I decided to meet with, I think, 11 abutters at the time, all the while getting calls. I think throughout the week, I had started to receive multiple calls from neighbors concerned that this project was going to happen regardless of, you know, as if they wanted it or not. And so we met, and I was able to get everyone's information and talk about the fact that we really just want to know what you guys think. And so pretty much the entire side of where the boat launch is going to be or would be, everyone was not in favor of it, right? So all along that elbow of Venture Pond, and then also down at the bottom along Sherwood as well, about 4 houses in a row, 11 total abutting, that all did not want the project to continue. So I then called Karen, said, look, we have a situation here where we have someone whom could have potentially, you know, waited or, you know, neglected votes, and just went ahead and tried to move the project forward. I think at that time, Karen did say she did receive a complaint, which we then found out later, which is an email that I think we received during the application process that said that, you know, someone didn't want it. And so we just kept hearing now more and more people talk about how this project is something that they don't want. I have not heard anybody talk about that they do want it. So it's really only one person now, Jerry Signoli, who Colleen has since left. She's moved, I think, to Maryland. Is that right? I think Maryland.
Yeah, she moved down to Maryland.
That's what it was. Okay, so she's moved, and Jerry Signoli has taken her place, and he wants the project to move forward. But essentially, everyone else that I have talked to and that has called me directly has not wanted this project to continue. So that is pretty much where we are. We have paid for design services. We have paid for wetland protection that we absolutely needed in order to get this off the ground. And then we have purchased some benches as well to make sure that we give everybody what they wanted, or at least what we thought they wanted. So, you know, I'm not going to say that Colleen has, you know, completely disregarded or disrespected people's opinions, but it does seem like there are a bunch of people within the community that do not want this to happen. And they've been, you know, calling the mayor, calling me, Tom, Laura's been receiving some calls, I think. And so it's just been something that we're going to have to make a decision on. We as the parks wanted CPA to step in and maybe share some, concerns. You guys have also said that it is important for us to be making these decisions. And so we respect that. And we're still working on making a decision. And I think just personally making sure that the neighborhood wants projects, that we're not forcing them upon them, that we have the opportunity to hear what these people say about their own land in their area amidst of pretty devastating climate change, which I think is going to be really hard for them to deal with in the long run. But yeah, I just wanted to update on that project. We still have not yet decided. I talked with Director Tom Ash today, and we have not made a absolute decision, but just wanted to continue to update and be as forthgoing with any information I have as possible.
So I did talk to a pro in favor of, and he was, gathering some information. So I think in hindsight, and you and I talked about this, Chris, in hindsight, when there is a project like this, where it involves especially a body of water, because people get very particular about water rights and water access, is that the abutters get a postcard before that as part of the application process, like the notification of all of the abutters to come to a meeting or something to give an opportunity. they were given the opportunity, the neighbors, to weigh in on this project. It was in the newspaper. Our projects were listed. And so it's not like they can say, well, I didn't know about it, because, well, they didn't know about it because they weren't paying attention, or people don't look at the front page of the city website, so they don't know. So a postcard to the abutters would make a lot of sense. And maybe that could possibly still be done, because, I mean, the application went through, the committee all agreed to it. The park department supported it. So, I mean, that should not just be dismissed either. So
And
I guess another meeting or something, I don't know, but that's all I'm going to say about it, because it's really up to the committee. And really, frankly, it's up to the park department if they want to pursue it or not. But anyway, I just wanted to put that in there.
I mean,
Karen, Karen, oh,
I was just going to say that clearly it's a decision of the park department. If you're not going to do the project, we want the money back. On the other hand, what I guess I have to say in general is I'm hearing two different things. One is people complaining over things over which no one has control, which is the water table, because you didn't do anything to affect the water table. And the other thing is I'm hearing that they don't want the project, and I'm not hearing a reason other than, oh, it might attract some people to the neighborhood. And in my mind, if we had people who said, we don't want signs at our conservation walking trails because they might attract visitors, and we don't want a fishing dock on Alden Street because it might attract visitors, and we don't want improvements to Atwater Park Fountain because it might attract visitors, we wouldn't be making very many improvements, or the park department wouldn't, that we help pay for it. So, you know, I guess I would, in my own feeling, is encourage the park department to find out, is the problem that they're afraid that people are going to bring in a gazillion boats and all of a sudden they're going to be jet skis on the pond and the noise level? But short of saying, gee, outsiders may come and fish here, or may come here and kayak, because I think it's a kayak launch, not a boat launch, right?
Yes,
Chris?
correct.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just my personal feeling. But the bottom line is, it's your department's decision as to whether you go through with it or not. We just want whatever hasn't been spent given back to us.
For sure. And I can address just really quickly what was just said, because it isn't about people using the pond, about the kayak launch in itself. It's that there are people coming from Connecticut, from East Longmeadow, from different places that are not in their community, and they're dumping, smoking, drinking, and doing other things in their community, noise ordinances, and it would basically, we're dealing with something where people are abusing the property, and we haven't truly, I think, done a good job at helping provide security and reassurance for the abutters to make sure that they have the support of the Parks Department, the Conservation Commission, to make sure that they have body of water and security that they are proud of. And everyone says we're not concerned about, you know, people using anything. It's just about abusing. And that's really the cause.
Chris, that's really interesting that you just pointed that out. Like, it's okay if you come, but don't abuse, you know, the space. But that was happening before any of these projects were happening, right?
Right.
I mean, people were coming and dumping, and
I think
so
that's
they're
the point,
probably
though.
just angry that hasn't been taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And I think that's something that we need to continuously do something about. I had our camera guy put up 2 cameras. I've also now had a couple people pick the space. I think we're going to hopefully try to do that once a month, at least, for sure, once a month. But
sorry,
yeah, I
can
think
I jump in for a moment here?
a little bit more.
sorry, Krista, there was also an agreement with Campus Neighbors and a local Boy Scout troop that they would be helping to maintain that area in parts of, it was part of the original phase 1 grant application. And I think, you know, we run into this issue in many projects, park renovation projects, when there's, you know, the abutters of a park. A lot of our parks are surrounded by residential neighborhoods, and the hope is when you renovate a park for increased recreational access in a positive use, that it will start to eliminate some of those negative things that are happening within the park. And I think that was the intent with the Venture Pond improvements, that by adding the walking path and adding some of these things and formalizing it as a park area, that it would become a little bit more protected in the use. I do understand where the neighbors are coming from, maybe feeling that they haven't had the opportunity to share their view, but I do think there's many opportunities throughout the application process to come to either the Board of Park Commission meeting when we're first talking about the projects, and also to come to the CPA meetings throughout the course of the application. So you know, it was brought to us because of the high water issue that people are facing throughout, you know, the region. And we want to help the homeowners as best we can there. And it just seemed like the right opportunity to just take a breath before we move forward and get everybody back on the same page, and wanted to give you guys, as the funding committee, the opportunity to know what people are saying out in the community. So
They
it
also-
should be noted
it-
too, that the boat launch, although that would be nice, they are still able to launch a kayak or boat because the water is dragged down in that one spot. So it's not like they can't kayak on the water,
Right.
right?
So and Chris, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was to formalize a bit of a kayak launch there. Right now it's just, you know, dirt and wood chips and things like that. Now it would be more of a concrete launch that to make ease of access and have it be more accessible. And then there was the addition of the fishing dock in that location. So there were kind of two things happening.
There's also time at Conservation Commission meetings that abutters are welcomed and they can speak. One of the things we have noticed in the past is a lot of what Bob was referring to, that the bottom line is people don't want other people coming into what they consider their area.
We hear that a lot.
Although it's public property. And I'm blanking out on the name of on South Branch Parkway, the little
Sergeant Sullivan Park.
Sergeant Sullivan's. The neighbors there was a lot of problems at the beginning, and nothing really happened. It's there, it's well used, and there isn't the problem that people thought there would be. That was one that was very contentious when because many people showed up at the Conservation Commission meeting regarding that one, and it turned out to be, it's fine, as you well know.
Yeah, I mean, we do run into this quite a lot, and there's no easy answer. You know, you're never going to make everyone happy. And I think, you know, the intent when these applications first started coming in about Venture Pond was some of the neighbors realizing that there's an issue here, and how can we help better that and fix that. And adding the walking path was the first stage. And I think that that's gone over very well. And Chris did a great job with that project. And, you know, I think, you know, the more people use it that are outside of the neighborhood, I understand that there's not a lot of parking there. So people are parking on the street and things like that. And it's kind of what we refer to as a pocket park, like a smaller park that's usually just for the people right around it. But because this has a water body and people are drawn to that for recreation, I think that's why you're seeing people that maybe aren't just in walking distance come to that. But we also can't deny people access to the water just because of, you know, the neighborhood of butters as well. So it definitely needs further conversation. We just wanted to make sure that you weren't caught off guard as the funding committee, in case you were receiving phone calls or emails yourself.
Thank you, Laura, for that.
And you
What
will
I
receive
don't
those.
understand, I do understand, but it looks like there's two issues. The neighbors are concerned with the kayak.
Yep.
That's what was originally expressed because of the water table and all that. Now we hear the neighbors don't like it because other people are going there. Which is the top priority?
Well,
think
it's not that it's not that they're going there. It's that when they're there, they're abusing the park, right? They're parking on the street, blocking in people that can't get out of their own driveways. A lot of litter, trash. Again, there are no trash cans on site. So you have a lot of people just throwing lures around, no dog bags. So, dog crap is everywhere. So again, I think it's not about use. I mean, I forget what high school it is, but there's a ice skating group of young boys that uses the pond every winter, and they have no problem with that. And some of the neighbors have actually helped them access the park. I think it really is just about the people that are coming to the park from Connecticut and other places to dump landscaping.
We haven't had frozen ponds. We haven't had frozen ponds in Springfield.
Okay, yeah, I think you're
about
hung on to
5 years.
the wrong thing there. Just let it go. You hear
I
what I'm
think the
saying?
trash cans were part
They're
of
just
phase.
angry.
Hear what I'm saying?
I think the trash cans were part
That
of
was the
phase
wrong
2.
thing.
For Gloria, I think the residents there, both of them are a concern to them, but it originally came to us, these conversations, because they were having all of the flooding in their neighborhood. And that's kind of when we were on site, then it kind of snowballed into, hey, what's happening with this phase 2? And, we as the abutters aren't necessarily happy with that project at the moment. So we're trying to, get a handle on it and see what's going to work best for everyone.
But that seems like a more of a police take
Yolanda?
notice kind of situation.
Yeah, and like Chris said, we have added security cameras there, and we have a person in our department who monitors illegal dumping. It's now a site that he will continue to monitor, and then hopefully, we can kind of, as things progress, hopefully that will become less of an issue.
Rhonda, you had something you wanted to say?
Yes, I just wanted to say, it sounds real bad, basically, when you say, I don't want the people coming to something, because then that kind of gets into are we segregating people or who can come? I don't like that tone of it at all. I think some things should have went into place to, how are you going to police it? How are you going to put trash can where there's somewhere where people can put their trash? Now, also, who's determined that it's people all the way from Long Meadow or Connecticut? Who's making that determination?
The abutters.
But
They looking at the license plates?
Yeah.
Sorry, say it again.
Are they looking at the license plate? Is
Yeah.
that what they're doing?
Yeah.
But-
Because they're all
okay.
retired, so most of the community lives at home during the day. So
so when did you put your cameras in?
Yesterday.
Okay, so wouldn't it be fair to give a time frame to watch really what's going on to the camera? Because then you got actual facts of what's going on.
Yeah, I believe so. That's why the cameras are put in. We can.
Yeah, I think that would make more sense. And I do agree. Is there some thought of what you're going to do about debris or parking? I think that's just something natural. I live next door on the street of Harriet Tubman. We have a parking problem too. So I think it depends exactly where the pond is and where was parking ever considered as part of the phase and everything.
It was at one point. It was that we were going to put it in that bend, but then we decided that we wanted it to remain a neighborhood park, and so we didn't want people, coming
There's
from
street parking available there.
Yeah, so you can
and
put
it's
up
a wide enough street that you can park on the street and still get around.
But he just said they said that parking is an issue.
Yeah, that's what they told me. So they're concerned that they can't get out of their homes, and Sherwood is a street that people go down fast, and so there's looking behind you for traffic, but then there's also the fact that you can't directly back out of your home because people are behind you fishing.
Okay, so
there is parking on that street for the size of Venture Pond. There is enough parking. It's just that some people don't like other people parking in front of their house.
And that's what I was
That's an
getting ready
issue
to say.
too. I mean, so it's a very complicated issue. It's not, I think it's more like, I don't want you parking in front of my house. I don't want you using my park. And
I
that kind of,
disagree with that part. I hear the my park thing, and I totally understand that might be how it's perceived, but I didn't get that at all from,
Oh.
the ownership perspective of it. Oh, my park, stay out of my area. It really was just park abuse. I mean, people are tired of seeing trash around their beautiful neighborhood, and they're tired of people abusing.
Do they get sector meetings once a month over in that area? That
That
they
I
can
don't know.
bring that up to, their sector officers and their code enforcement officers and the plus officers over there?
That's a great question. I don't know. I can find out, but I don't know that answer.
Because I do think there's a way to answer that and then still improve the venture pond.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the entire phase
It's
one
a
was,
public park.
yeah, I think the phase one was a complete success. I don't hear people trying to walk that back. I just think that they would like it to remain more natural.
So right now, Chris, for the project piece that you've actually put in place, you have the benches, the park, the trash cans, and what else? Security we talked about, but CPA doesn't pay for that, unfortunately. The
Yeah, yep.
cameras.
We have cameras up, right? So we've done that. So
Is there gonna be any signs in the future that says pick up after your dog, your animal? And
Well,
maybe
that's what I
like
meant to say. The doggy bags, did you put
Yeah.
those? Is there a little kiosk thing with
those are going to go in.
bags or?
Yeah.
They didn't. I don't think you approved doggy bags either. As you didn't approve cameras, so that's something that we're going to have to do. Yeah.
Would
So those are
that be
gonna-
something that the committee would be willing to, like, is that something that could be funded out of the contingency for this project? To help alleviate the concerns? I believe the benches and the trash were going in as phase 2. So that would have been with the construction of the kayak launch and the boat dock. That's when the benches and the trash would be actually installed on site. So again, hopefully that will help alleviate some of the issues. And if dog bags are something that the committee would allow the funding to be used for, that's definitely something we could add in sooner than later.
So certainly, as part of the improvements out of the existing budget, if you need to buy one of those, I'm going to call it a stanchion that holds where the doggy bags go with a sign that says pick up your poop or whatever, I think that's a capital improvement.
That would be
The
great. That's
ba-
something
the-
that we can take
the-
care of right away.
But let me just finish. The bags are maintenance. Maintenance is not CPA eligible. So
Got it.
we're not paying for the actual bags. We're not paying for the plastic bags that go inside the trash receptacles. We're not paying for picking up the trash from the trash receptacles. But
Got it.
certainly
Well, it
the
seems like
physical-
So it would, I'm sorry, go ahead, Yolanda.
it seems like the neighborhood is very much willing to do a take a bag, leave a bag kind of. They seem very tight knit. So if that's something that could maybe be said to, any of them in that particular neighborhood, or, add it if the Parks Department can supply that. I don't know how costly that would be.
Yeah, no, I think if I'm hearing Bob correctly, the post and the bag dispenser and the sign are eligible for CPA funding, but the bags themselves are not.
Correct.
Okay, then that is something that, since we have the funding for Venture Pond through CPA, we can definitely purchase. I would suggest probably 2 because of the different, the loop of the walking path there, but purchasing the post and the dog bag dispenser would be great. And then the Parks Department can handle putting the actual bags in. That's definitely something we could do, but to buy the unit would be a huge help.
So Chris, I want to get back to your view that the neighborhood is really looking for your attention. I mean, that's what I'm hearing, that and feel like they've been heard. So if the issue is really about the maintenance, about keeping, bad actors with their dumping out of the park, if all of that can be addressed, do they still want the rest of the project? I guess that's really what the question is, right?
Yeah,
Right, if
I'm
they answer all their concerns, can the project go forward?
that I don't know. I think we'd have to answer those concerns. I do think that we're going to run into a pretty major concern about flooding that I don't know the answer to, and we're not really sure about. So again, I'm not saying that the project can't go forward, but it's they feel like they haven't been heard. The project was moved forward without them, at least that's what they're saying. And they would like to keep what they have as is and allow for people to respect the property as it is right now, and allow for parks to really do our part in maintaining it. And that's really what I've heard.
So really, the only thing we're talking about here is just not putting up a fishing dock. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
that's really
kayak
it.
launch, yeah.
And formalizing the kayak launches kind
The
of
kayak launch.
from that. It's pretty informal right now, so.
And I wouldn't say that's all. That was the heart of the project, was a
Yeah.
fishing dock and
Yeah,
a
for sure.
kayak.
And kayak launch.
You know, it wasn't that we did, you know, if they just come to us and said, we want trash cans, that's all we want, we would have said, get lost. So
You wouldn't have said that.
yeah.
You would have said, we can help you. You know
We
that.
Well,
definitely
I always said
appreciate
that that's not recreation. I mean, the
Yeah.
core of what we do has to be recreation. And we
sure.
do these ancillary things like trash receptacles, because that's part of a recreational facility. But doing these things, you know, just like we initially got asked for at Hubbard Park, we got asked not only for the tennis court, we got asked to repave the parking lot.
I had to give it a shot, Bob.
Yeah, that's right. And
I had to try.
and thankfully, you've learned don't ask for parking lot improvements.
Although you do need a parking lot in order to access the recreation, but I understand where the committee's coming from
So,
on that.
anyway.
Yep.
And Laura, just one thing, it's not just the committee, it's the whole
yeah.
CPA.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I understand. Thank you.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I know
to
we're
clarify it.
all governed by guidelines.
It's not just Bob being stingy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Really.
gosh, I would never think that. There's, you know, we're all dedicated and wonderful people who want a better Springfield. And, you know, we want to make sure that we're following the guidelines as they are. And you know,
Yeah.
I do think like
And I
the
think
major concern-
that's exactly the point here. Because it sounds to me that what I'm hearing is that the community in that immediate area that are buttoned upon, they're speaking to me about quality of life in their neighborhood. That's what I'm hearing. And I think their points of interest are real and for certain many seem to be something that's manageable, but not do they just need to be heard. But every project sets up a forum so that the people in that immediate area can speak to trying to have situations, their consent resolved in their neighborhood. So I believe the community themselves, they want the situations to be resolved. They want a better quality of life. And when you talk about the question of anybody dumping in my neighborhood, that's certainly going to be a concern for me. If you talk about you know, I'm pouring out tons of water out of my basement. I mean, that's something I think that would concern me as well in my neighborhood. And so, you know, I think this is certainly something that has to take the level of consideration that the Parks Department is showing right now without making a decision. They're trying to really come up with a way to improve their quality of life and sustain, you know, what the homeowners need in their backyard. And so I never get a sense that they were really just venting or not wanting to be cooperative, but that there are issues that need to be addressed there, and that because there's a forum now there's a project going on in their backyard, that's the opportunity. That's a prime opportunity to try to address those concerns.
Yeah,
And I think
Clinton,
that
though,
I
but
think
the water
back with the
table
park-
issue, they may have mentioned the water table issue, but that's really not something that even if you move ahead and you put the fishing dock in, that's not going to affect it either way. I mean, the water table is not going to change because you have a fishing dock there. So one
Yeah.
doesn't really equate with the other.
The tricky part with Venture Pond is that it's, kind of a standalone kettle hole that, doesn't have an outlet. So, and as we know, there's
right, and getting the city to address that.
Yeah,
The
well,
Parks Department, getting to address that.
well, yes, it'd be kind of hard to make an outlet for that area, for that pond. And very expensive, and Juanita probably knows the technicalities more
No,
than
I mean, that's,
All right, but that's only one option. Making an
but
outlet.
that was one of the questions brought to us, so that's why.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, can I just address that?
Mhm.
These kettle holes that we have in Springfield are very unique. It was a giant iceberg that was there and it melted and it left a hole. And there is no way, unfortunately, Clinton, to tamper with that. What we have here is something that's very unique, and you can't make anything like it. What we have here now is climate. No, excuse me, let me just finish. What we have here is climate change. And I think Chris, you mentioned that you had somebody speak to them. And so sometimes it's just that people just don't understand. They see something happening, all of a sudden they're getting water, which is happening all over the city anyway, where the water table is high. And I think if people just understood it, then it would be okay. But
Well,
these kettle holes that we have in Springfield are very unique.
So I think the reality is that we might not be able to do anything about this kettle hole, and then we'd be putting a kayak launch in a neighborhood that is drowning.
Right. And it sounds like maybe the walkway was fine and that the launch doesn't happen now, and maybe it'll happen a few years from now.
Right,
And
that's where.
Or maybe a retaining wall.
No, retaining wall's not
No,
gonna
that's
work.
tampering with it. You can't do that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
No.
there's a lot, like Juanita said, there's the climate change factor, there's the, the street runoff and stormwater runoff, and there's a lot of issues there, and I do want to let you all know that the city is looking at that. Are there things that we can do outside of the pond area that might help
There you go.
alleviate some of the flooding that people are having? But unfortunately, a lot of this is just, we've had a lot of heavy rain, and as climate change is happening and it's real, and these things are going to continue to come up, especially around our parks that include bodies of water. So we wanted to
And
give
I've
you
seen
all the
some cities
heads
where
up.
they put
Just to move
they
the,
put in
the
sandbags.
conversation along, where do we need to go forward from here, from this conversation? What is the next steps?
That's up to the Parks Department,
I do want to
this is
say
just
one thing,
informational.
though,
Yeah.
is that your contract expires June 30th. So if you're going to need an extension, I guess the decision is, if you're going to move forward with it, then you need an extension.
For sure.
If you're not going to proceed with the rest of the project, then you would be done by June 30th, correct? Or
We would have made a decision to we would need an extension if we're going to do it. You're right. I mean, but if we're not going to, then that decision will be made well before June 30th. Does that make sense?
We'll try and have an update for you for your May 21st meeting. Do you have a meeting in June?
that would be great.
Yes,
Are
we
you
also
meeting in
have,
June?
we have the first Tuesday in June, and then because everyone's been so good about meeting twice a month, we're taking July and August off.
Oh, good for
So
you.
there will be no extensions granted in July or August.
So we will try, we do know that this is part of a bigger issue, so we will try and have an update for you for your May 21st meeting, and if there's no resolution then we will have one for your June meeting. So,
Sounds
Okay.
good.
yep. Thank
All
you
right,
all
Melissa,
very
Good
much
luck, climate change.
for all your time.
All
I'll
right.
get those
Thank
out
you,
to
Chris.
Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, the other thing, I guess, Karen, you want to update us on Abbey Brook?
Sure. Absolutely. Love to do that. So we did invite Adam Anulowitz. Is that how you say his name, Juanita?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think.
okay.
I think.
So we did invite him, but he was unable to attend, and he did send a progress report. So a few days ago, he went out and conducted the mandatory site visit for the parcels, and he took photos for reference. There's a whole section dedicated to that in the grant or the draft. He reached out to the current owners of the property to get information from them that's required on the restriction, and he's waiting to hear back from them. So that was what he put forward. I would imagine maybe by next week he would have a draft ready. I don't know if, Juanita, you have any more up-to-date information?
No, I haven't spoken to him, and as I told you earlier, I'm out of town right now, and
Okay.
I will be back by hopefully, the end of the week, but I haven't spoken to him, no.
Okay, so in the meantime, we are combining this with a contract with the city because we need to sign a contract with the city so they can access the funds and purchase the property. So they're moving forward with this, and there was a little bit of a kerfuffle that we got straightened out. And so there's a few items that need to be done first before we sign the contract. But really the primary is we need a copy of the conservation restriction draft before we can do anything else. And then that will get sent to Mass Audubon, and they'll review it and send us back and see if there's anything we want to add as a condition. And once that's all set, the draft can go into the contract with the city, and at the same time be sent to the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs, or the EEA, and for their approval. And the second important thing here is the decision on who will absorb the endowment fee. Tina Quagliano Sullivan wrote back today and asked if the committee would consider paying for it, basically. And that money would have to be allocated. So I don't know. I mean, the other option, well, there were 4 options, but the first option was if the Mass Audubon would waive that fee for us. And that there was some talk on that, but we never went back to them yet because we don't have the draft. I mean, we need the draft first,
Right.
to kind of move forward. So I don't know how you all feel if they don't waive the fee. The city could pay for it out of some
The
other
city, the
fund.
conservation could probably pay for it.
The conservation could pay for it, or CPA could allocate the $11,000 separately. And I guess it would have to, what would it come out of, Bob, in that case? What fund?
It would have to be a project taken to city council and recommended.
Right. I
So
think it would be easier to come out of the conservation or the city.
Yeah, I think so. It's more an operational thing than it is a
Yeah.
grant
Yeah, it
thing.
would be hard to explain for us to do that, wouldn't it, Bob?
No, it is eligible as a CPA expense. So it's up to us whether we want to pay for it. But if we do want to pay for it, it would have to be a project proposed to city council and approved by city council. It just can't, we cannot take it out of administration and say, oh, it's a cost of running CPA.
Right.
Because it's not. So we do have the option of paying for it. We will need to, when we meet next time, and the 21st, if we decide, because we may have to save $11,000 out of this year's amount, if that's the case.
Does the Conservation Commission, does it have like a lot of excess
No.
funds, or like?
No, it doesn't. I mean, we have some money that's used for tree removal and that, but no, there isn't. But that's it's 11, it's 11,
It's 11,000 something. It's,
11,000.
I mean, is that a lot for your budget? I don't know if it is or not.
Yeah, I have to, let me get back to you, Karen. I'll call.
It also might be good, Karen, if you circle back to David at Mass Audubon, just to give him the update. And I don't mean an email, I mean a phone call probably. And say, did you get anywhere, David, with talking to your higher ups about waiving the fee? If he says, oh yeah, and they're not interested, then we know, let's not talk about that as an option anymore.
Yeah, because I don't know, I got the feeling when we talked to him that it could be an option.
Well, it could be, but he said he'd have to talk to his higher ups. It was not an option that he could make.
Yeah.
And that was back in January, so.
So I think it would be good to you to circle back with him to have give him an update and ask for an update from him.
Okay, I'll do that.
And maybe a 50-50. We talked to
Like,
Chris.
that's a good option too.
You know, a 50-50 them and a 50-50. Yeah. Yeah. I'll call Chris tomorrow.
Okay. And then there were a couple other things before we can go ahead with the contract is, Bob had noticed that there was some encroachment by abutters on the Liberty Street. And so we asked who was going to be in contact with those abutters and find out that there's a boat, a shed, a vehicle that's on what looks like conservation land.
Ooh.
So
land that would be conservation land.
Right. So Tina wrote back and said that Adam would be going to talk with the legal department about that. So I don't know why that's
whether it's conservation, whether it's conservation land or not, they're on property that's not theirs, right?
Correct. Correct. It's on the property currently owned by O'Connell Oil. At least that's according to, if you look at the GIS aerial photograph.
Then
So-
why isn't O'Connell Oil making the people remove it?
Well, that was the question that I said. Who's responsible for addressing the encroachment issue? So, I mean, it's not necessarily our concern. I simply wanted other departments of the city to be aware, in case they hadn't looked at the aerial showing the land that was being acquired for conservation purposes, that, you know, someone's backyard has extended into this property.
Yeah, and so then the last thing was just a question on what kind of material is left in the land and what could be which is being investigated now. And so the uses, it wouldn't have a negative impact on the property being acquired and utilized for land conservation and the passive use, but it might limit what other kinds of activities can go there. So we don't have that report yet. So I will circle back and find out if they want to waive the fee or perhaps half the fee and half the fee from the conservation. So Juanita, do you want to ask?
Yeah, I'll call
about that part.
Pardon? I'll call Chris tomorrow. Is that what you just asked me?
And you guys also said the city, so could it be a three-way split?
It's harder to get the city to.
Well, keep in mind, Yolanda, there is no such entity as the city. The Conservation Commission has money. The mayor has a pot of money. There are departments that have money. So getting the commitment as to who in the city is going to kick in their money is a different
It
issue.
sounds like a great memo email that should go out, and that's what it sounds like to me.
Please contribute $5. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll see what happens with that, and I'll have that information for you.
All right. Any other administration?
Yeah, just one last piece of good news for everyone here. We finally have a Pioneer Valley Planning Commission contract. So
Good.
the executive director of PVPC met with the law department and the office of the mayor. And going forward, the lower limit of $100,000 to cover Springfield as an additional insured will be sufficient in our contracts going forward.
Oh, good.
So yay, that happened, but we still did pay that the $500 for this particular contract because you voted on it, you passed it, and we wanted to get the contract going. So that particular contract does have the $1 million coverage on it. But going
Right.
forward, as in June, when we'll do another contract, it will only be $100,000. So yay. That's
Good.
the good news.
Good.
And so, Bob, the LTA hours, that's not this, you do that in June, right?
Well, no, we'll put it on next meeting's agenda. We need to ask for the beginning of the fiscal year. Okay, just remind me when we do the agenda for next meeting. Okay. So unless we have anything else, we'll have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Second, wave their hand or say yes. Thank you so much for your work tonight.
All right, everybody.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right.
Remember your assignment. All right.
Okay.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.